श्री राम के अयान के लिए रावण का होना बहुत जरूरी है. Unlike Sri Ram, who was a very loved child, who was born in a princely family, Ravan was born in a family where the whole family in itself was unwanted. जो अदिति थे, उनके जो बच्चे हुए, they are called devs. Okay. जो दीति है, उनके बच्चे became asurs. Like how for thousands of years Ram Leela has been happening. हर साल एक अलग श्री राम होते हैं, एक अलग रावण होता है. तो अपनी तरफ से बस I think वो छोटे मोटे nuances में ला पाए, which I hope people like.
Ram Mandir will be opening on Jan 22nd.
जी.
Will you be visiting Ayodhya?
Absolutely. Me, my entire family, everybody will be going.
Nikitin Dheer, welcome to CNN News 18.
Thank you for having me.
Nikitin, you'll be seen playing the role of Ravana in Sony TV Shrimad Ramayan. What was it that attracted you to the role of Ravana?
According to me, in every Ramayan, the two most important parts are Shri Ram and Ravan. Shri Ram के अयान के लिए रावण का होना बहुत जरूरी है. And when Mr. Siddharth Kumar Tiwari offered me this role, and my first question to him was that why are we making Ramayan again? जब इतनी बार बन चुके हैं, करीबन 25-28 actors ने रावण का किरदार निभाया है. What would be so different this time around? And because I was asking him questions as a viewer, because all of us, because Ramayan हम सभी की है, हम किसी एक की नहीं है, हर एक को रामायण कंठस्थ है, सबको पता है कि what is the flow of events. तो उन्होंने मुझसे कहा कि I'm not only going to show what everybody has seen, but also going to touch upon the stories that we have heard from our elders. हमारी दादियों से, नानियों से, कहीं घर के बड़े बुजुर्गों से हमने सुनी जरूर है लेकिन देखी नहीं है. So he's saying we're going to touch upon that, which will make it very interesting and relevant in today's times. And and to be very honest, I have a lot of young fans, and I was so pleasantly surprised that the youth of today is extremely inclined towards knowing about their history, the right history in the right manner, in the right way. So I think this Ramayan is an attempt to do that. There is no, no other agenda to it. And Ravan in this Ramayan is a very beautifully woven character.
Okay.
Not just unidimensional, जैसे जो पहले हम देख चुके हैं. So he has layers. He has a being. He's a person like any other, which makes him really attractive, not only to watch but even to play. So that was the most interesting aspect for me.
We only have seen Ravana as this demon king, but we don't know much about Ravana's childhood. How much do you know about Ravan's childhood, and how was he as a child?
So there are a lot of versions, a lot of books on Ramayana. They are very, very. You'd be surprised to know the amount of versions of Ramayana that exist in literature, and a lot of them touch upon the childhood of Ravan. So, unlike Sri Ram, who was a very loved child, who was born in a princely family with a lot of love, tenderness, care, and everyone waited for him to be born. Ravan was born in a family where the whole family in itself was unwanted on many levels because they belonged to the Rakshas clan, and that started this fire within him, which just kept becoming more and more intense over time, which I feel as he grew older became this volcano that just erupted at one point, after which his pride, his ego, everything took over, and he didn't know what was right or wrong anymore. And that just started this whole, started the problem, not only for him, but for society as a whole,
At what stage, which was that incident that triggered that transformation in Ravana and made him this king with big ego?
I don't know if you've seen the episode, but in the first episode in which we introduced Ravan in Shrimad Ramayan, in that, the fact that his brother Kuber is chosen as a king of Lanka and not him.
Okay.
Simply for the fact that he's a yaksh, he's not a Rakshas or a Brahmin or anything of that sort. So, though both were at the same father, they weren't given the same rights. So that changed और अगर आप थोड़ा पढ़ेंगे हमारे संस्कृति के बारे में तो दीति और अदिति दो बहनें थी जिनके बच्चे थे। जो अदिति थे उनके जो बच्चे हुए दे आर कॉल्ड देव्स। जो दीति है उनके बच्चे बिकेम असुर्स, जिनका सुर बचपन से साधा नहीं गया वो असुर। तो आज भी लोगों को हम असुर कह सकते हैं, हु डोंट, जिनका सुर सही नहीं होता उन्हें असुर कहा जाता है। So, contrary to what we have read, as per Purans and all of that, they were brothers and they all looked the same. ऐसा नहीं था कि they had a very distinct look or anything of that sort. So it is a ocean of knowledge, and I think any human being would take a lifetime to just understand and grasp everything that has happened over time. So I think all we can do is try to learn, and I am honestly doing that. I'm still reading every day that I can about Ravan, not only about Ravan, but about what all happened at that time. किस किस्म के विवाह, जैसे हिंदुओं में अलग अलग किस्म के विवाह होते हैं। जो सबसे पॉपुलर विवाह है वो ब्रह्म विवाह, जो हम सब देखते हैं। ऐसे ही राक्षस विवाह होता है, पिशाच विवाह होता है, जो पहले के जमाने में हुआ करता था।
मगर क्या डिफरेंस है ब्रह्म
तो Rakshas Viva is where you kidnap the lady and you say that now you're my wife and you can marry her. Pisach Viva is when you force yourself upon the lady and then you say now you're my wife. ऐसे अलग अलग किस्म के विवाह है, करीबन मेरे ख्याल से 7 प्रकार के विवाह हैं। तो this was the construct of the culture that existed। और हमारे यहाँ तो हिंदू महापंडित हैं जो लिखते भी हैं, तो उनसे जब आप बात करो तो it's extremely enlightening also। It's just basic the differences in culture during the time that existed.
That's good to know. So then how you played it, what approach you took while playing Ravana, since you have so much, like you said, you have so much understanding of the demon politics. Ravan has always been portrayed as a very complex character with positive and negative traits. Now you have this very deep.
I just whatever I read the version of him in our Ramayana, and जो भी मुझे बेस्ट लगा, जो मुझे लगा फ्रॉम द बॉटम ऑफ माय हार्ट कि ये मोमेंट को मुझे ऐसे पोर्ट्रे करना चाहिए, ये मोमेंट ऐसा होना चाहिए, तो दैट इज हाउ आई हैव पोर्ट्रेड इट, just as actors before me have. We all bring forth ourselves and whatever we understand of the character on screen in a similar way, like how for thousands of years Ram Leela has been happening. हर साल एक अलग श्री राम होते हैं, एक अलग रावण होता है, तो they bring forth their interpretation. As actors the minuteness and the nuances change, but the gist of the character stays the same. तो अपनी तरफ से बस I think वो छोटे मोटे nuances में ला पाया, which I hope people like। और definitely एक inherent intensity हम लाए रावण के अंदर, because रावण जो है हर emotion की पराकाष्ठा था। He was an extreme of every emotion. He didn't know where to draw the line.
But then Nikitn, while playing which scene in Shrimad Ramayan you felt like, okay, now you are Ravan, you felt closest to your character?
I was very happy the day we shot an episode where Ravan gets to meet Mahadev, and it's declared in the universe that वो महादेव का परम भक्त है। और वहीं से एक जर्नी शुरू हो जाती है महादेव के साथ रावण की, विच इज जिसे आज की जनरेशन कहती है टॉक्सिक बॉयफ्रेंड, टॉक्सिक मेंटालिटी। तो ही इज अ टॉक्सिक भक्त ऑफ सॉर्ट्स। वो इतना ज्यादा महादेव से प्रेम करता है और इतना ज्यादा प्रूव करना चाहता है कि मैं ही आपका महाभक्त हूँ, सबसे परम भक्त हूँ, दैट वो हर चीज एक्सेस में करता है। एंड ही हैज बिकम सो पॉपुलर अक्रॉस द यूनिवर्स फॉर बीइंग दैट काइंड ऑफ अ भक्त, दैट कहीं ना कहीं जब नारायण श्री राम का रूप लेकर आते हैं तो महादेव कहते हैं कि आई विल कम एज हनुमान एंड वी विल पुट फोर्थ द गुड इमेज ऑफ व्हाट अ भगवान एंड भक्त शुड बी फॉर द जनरेशंस टू कम। इट कैन नॉट बी लाइक दिस, क्योंकि to get his attention he would go and try to shake Kailash, go and do things which were a little destructive also just to get his attention. So I think that part of me being able to take Mahadev's name as much as I did that day and just allow that whole thing to take place within me, I think was an extremely beautiful experience. And I think that's the moment I felt perhaps just 0.00001% of what Ravan must have felt, in those circumstances.
He also created the famous Shiv Tandav Stotra, which is so. Do you know that? Do you remember the lines of that?
मैंने कंपोज किया था, लेकिन हमने पूरा यूज नहीं किया. So then when they told me we're not going to use the whole thing, I was under the impression that maybe half we will use because of our limitation of time.
Yeah.
So I memorized half of it on the day of it, and but we had to go even shorter than that.
Would you like to recite a few lines of it? I think Fox would love to hear that.
जटाटवी गलत जल प्रवाह पावे पस्तले गले वलम गलम नताम भुजंड तुंड मालिकाम डमट 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 डमर वयम चकार चंड तांडवम तनः तनौ तनय शिवम.
Oh, nice. Thank you. It's so good to hear your passion about the character that you're playing. But you're a Mumbai kid, Nikitn. How much extra effort actually you put in while playing Ravana, and to get that correct dialect of Hindi?
So I've been in a school where we were taught Sanskrit, and we had some great Hindi teachers. और मेरे घर पर भी हिंदी बहुत अच्छे से बोली जाती है. My parents are from the north. My dadi was from Kanpur. So Hindi has always been spoken properly and with pride. And even though I was in Bombay, I'm born and brought up in Bombay, but then as I grew up for work, the kind of work I've done has been very heartland based. I think the day I chose to become an actor, my father's first words were कि जो तुम्हारा diction has to be very clear. When you speak, no one should know from which part of India you are, because it should be extremely neutral. और जब आप ऐसा किरदार करते हैं जैसे रावण है, so it's extremely important that your clarity of speech has to be on point. So for that, your basics have to be well brushed up. And by God's grace, my Hindi has always been good. I don't have issues with that. तो और जैसे मैंने आपसे कहा, बचपन से हमने संस्कृत भी पढ़ी है, तो उसकी उच्चारण में प्रॉब्लम नहीं होती. I have no problem with the mantrocharan or saying the right names in the right way.
Oh, nice. Oh, nice. That's so cool. Good to hear. But, were there any specific teachings of Lord Lord Rama's character that left a lasting impact on you while playing Ravana?
Of course, we have just begun the journey, and I would say we've just taken the first step on the journey. We are just 1 week old on television, and we have miles to go, lots to learn. But yes, over the years, so I have read Ramayana, and Shri Ram is all of us. हम अपना काम ही शुरू राम राम करके बोलते हैं, and हमारे घर में हम greet भी राम राम करके ही होता है. So Ram is our king and our essence of everything that we are. And I think अगर आप गिनाने जाएंगे या समझने जाएंगे तो जीवन बीत जाएगा. जैसे लोग कहते हैं कि श्री राम ने क्या कहा और क्या सिखाया.
Ram Mandir will be opening on Jan 22nd.
जी.
Will you be visiting Ayodhya?
Absolutely. Me, my entire family, everybody will be going in due course. And we were invited a while earlier, but for some reason I was unable to go just before New Year's. And I spoke to Panditji over there, and I'll definitely be going there. And I feel every Indian should go. It's a matter of great pride. It's like so many people say, why do we need a temple of Sri Ram? Is because Sri Ram is everywhere. He's omnipresent and omnipotent. But it's like you need a place to go and bow your head, a definite place to know that this is the place where I re-energize and I bow my head at this particular place, which is the right place. So I feel every Indian will go there with a lot of pride.
It is widely believed that a villain should be equal or stronger than hero. What do you think are the qualities of Ravana that made him a strong villain?
Everything about him. Everything about him, from his sheer will and determination, he bent everything around him to suit him to a point where nothing could adjust more or bend more. And जब अन्याय और अधर्म इतना बढ़ गया, तब श्री राम को आना पड़ा. नारायण को श्री राम का रूप लेकर आना पड़ा to ease the pain of people. That in itself explains the amount of problems he created. कहा जाता है कि रावण was even older than Parshuram. His first appearance is in the beginning of Treta Yuga, and he is killed towards the end of Treta Yuga. So that is the expanse of his life and the amount of damage he did before God decided to come down and look into it. So it was time over time over time, prayer over prayer over prayer, which made him come and help humanity. तो आप अगर आपने कभी रामलीला देखी है तो उसमें कई बार ये सवाल रावण माता सीता से पूछता है कि राम में ऐसा क्या है जो मुझ में नहीं है. I am perhaps more good looking, I'm taller, bigger, I have more money, my Lanka is more rich than Ayodhya. Why can't you marry me? What is the problem? So she starts off by saying that you are not on the path of dharma. And that in itself is the most unattractive part of you. And then is the ego. The ego makes one unattractive. So I think that is a distinctive difference between any hero and villain. Yes, in Ramayana, it is extremely distinct. But I think there's a very beautiful quote on villains that in today's time, especially in Kali Yuga, which women and men both resonate with, that a hero is someone who would allow his loved one to die to save the world. And a villain is someone who will burn the world to save his loved one. So now it's your choice to decide who is right and wrong, because everything is circumstances and your reaction to that circumstance that makes you either a hero or a villain.
You played the role of Thangabali in Chennai Express. How your life changed post the release of Chennai Express?
Before Chennai Express, I was just an actor. Then I was known as Thangabali. And I honestly thought that my film will go off the hook. And, I worked with Mr. Shah Rukh Khan and Deepika Padukone and Mr. Rohit Shetty. The man himself has directed me. And it's become such a huge hit. Every household in India has seen it, and my life is going to change. You won't believe, I think 11 months went by. I didn't get a single phone call. And I, in fact, spoke to a couple of casting directors that said, what's the issue? And I was told that I'm too tall and big, or my looks were an issue to get work at that time. So yeah, it was actually life changing for me in ways that I could perhaps prove myself. And the way I was presented on screen was something that had not happened earlier for me. But apart from that, I still had a long wait ahead of me to, still prove myself as an actor and get the right opportunity to present myself in the right way.
I think Ravan would do wonders for you, Nikitn.
Absolutely. So too, and I also feel because it's a long format, one gets to do much more, and Ramayan is such a granth where everybody watches, and to be able to play such a pivotal part in it is an honor and a blessing.
Well, Nikitin Dheer, best of luck for Ramayan, Shrimad Ramayan, and for all your future projects. Thank you so much and best of luck.
Thank you, Vishal. Thank you so much.